What's up everyone, V here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man from Spider-Man No Way Home. And Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is just another word for Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. It's very obviously Tobey Maguire. I mean, come on now. You can tell Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from any other Spider-Man. Who else has this beautiful silver webbing? Like, come on, it's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man as he appears in No Way Home. Unlike the Garfield one, which said Amazing Spider-Man 2, this one is straight up No Way Home, which I think is funny because a lot of the artwork, and honestly how the figure looks, doesn't really give me No Way Home vibes except for the masthead. I'll get into that in a second, but this video was supposed to come out little earlier than when it actually is. And if you saw my community post thing, those weird community post things on YouTube, if you saw the most recent one, you understand why this review is really late, because this figure has a couple QC issues. But before we get into that, like always, I try to talk about the source material a bit because, yeah, I don't really got too many people to talk about this stuff to, so I just like to blurt it all out to you guys. So hope you don't hate it too much. I'll try to be quick. No Way Home is my favorite Spider-Man movie. It's it's like Endgame. It's the only movie in my entire life that almost peaked Endgame. Not quite Endgame because that's just another level, but man, seeing Garfield and Maguire come out them portals back in, what was it, 2021? 2 years later, we're getting figures from the movie, but man, seeing them come out the portals was amazing. Now, I don't have the emotional attachment to Tobey as I did with Andrew, and I was born kind of in the time before, because I was born in 2004, so I didn't really, and by the time I was like, oh, this is how the world works. It was kind of after the Tobey movies, so I was kind of in that weird gray area between, like, right after Tobey, but right before Garfield, so I've seen the Tobey movies, but I don't have that strong emotional connection like a lot of people do. That's just how I feel with Andrew. Also, go check out that review. That was the previous one. A little long, but love that figure. But yeah, but it was still great seeing him, and his movies are fun. They're not my favorite. Um, I like them, but I don't know. It's hard to describe. I think it's like kind of like product of time and age. Like, I prefer like Garfield and Tom, but that's not slighting Tobey in the slightest. I think he's a really solid. His movies are pretty solid, and I enjoy Spider-Man 3. I think it's a dumb fun ride. But yeah, this is a great looking interpretation of it, but I can't say the figure's great because there's a lot of not he doesn't have a lot of QC issues. Another figure has the most QC issues, but this one does have some pretty glaring QC issues that I've run into, which is why the review's delayed. But before we get into Tobes Maguire, we'll take a look at the packaging, and it's literally the exact same as a. Oh wait, oh, I almost said the same as Garfield, but I remembered Garfield's the one figure that doesn't have this packaging. So this is actually to. I haven't reviewed one with this packaging yet, so I've. It's late at night. Give me a break, please. Got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Warning, Hasbro, Marvel Legends. That 3-pack shot that was like on the side of the No Way Home 3-pack. Also, this is basically just the No Way Home 3-pack Tobey Maguire figure, but with a new head. So I'll try to make the review quick, because if you want a more in-depth look at that figure, go check out that review. I said in the Garfield one, I'll say it in this one. I went way more in depth on there, and I'll probably go equally as in depth here, because I say that, but I'll probably ramble on. Love this shot that you got Tom and his integrated suit. You got Garfield, but what's interesting is the Tobey picture is like OG trilogy Tobey, because you can tell by the mask, as opposed to the No Way Home one, which had the weird mask. Spider-Man No Way Home 4+, and on the back you got that same artwork there. Then you got our friendly neighborhood hero swings in to help his fellow Spideys in his iconic suit. That is ironic that they say in his iconic suit, and he's the one that has the suit slightly altered for some reason. But yeah, it's a carded figure. I don't know why they're doing carded figures a lot with the Spider-Man stuff. I don't really care. It's kind of harder to open them, but I guess that means less likely for them to get swapped. It's a cool aesthetic, but it just sucks that they all look the same. It'd be cool to have individual artworks. But yeah, here's Tobey Maguire. Now, we'll go over the accessories real quick. He does not come with as much as the 3-pack. He comes with one fist, which is on him right now, a thwip, the alternate thwip, which is nice. Oh, there's a hair, which we'll try to get a close look. Love that silver webbing paint. That looks great. And you got one wall crawling hand, which just is bent awkwardly, and it looks like he's just clutching onto something for dear life. Both painted really well. And I will say, this figure is painted extremely well. I'd say even better than the 3-pack one. And unlike Garfield, which looked the same, there are some noticeable differences, I think, between the single release and the 3-pack, at least for me. But the final accessory is that masked head. This is one of the ones that has a notable difference. I don't know if it's just on mine, but the original, it wasn't as dark black. It's not even in focus, is it? The black around the eyes was nowhere near as dark as it is on the newer one, and I really like it. It makes it stand out a bit more against the silver. Also, the silver's painted really well on this mask, I gotta say. And it looks really cool. And he doesn't have any damage on the eyes, which my 3-pack one had. And the 3-pack one had a little bit of paint apps on the side, so this one's nice. And showing what that looks like on the figure, because this time I can do it because Garfield's head was a bit difficult to put on, but this one's easy, and it looks great. Yeah, it's the kind of wonky mask, but I still think it looks great. And here he is next to that 3-pack one, and I will say, it's not too noticeable, but I do think the blues are slightly different. I think this one's slightly, ever so slightly, a different shade. And I think the silver is way more crisp on this figure, but that might just be the fact that this one's painted better than this one. Because I feel like out of all of them, the Tobeys are very dicey on whether or not you get phenomenal paint, but at least you can see. But the silver is just so much more crisp on this newer figure, which I love because, oh, that silver webbing. It's an odd detail, and I think they did it because of CGI reasons, but man, it looks good. And it really makes Tobey stand out, because even though they all have, basically the same Spidey design, it's interesting that they took just the same kind of Spidey design and each have their own really unique versions of it, and I love that silver webbing. Time for the QC issue. Yeah, the reason why this video was delayed so long is because of this. My previous Tobey's leg snapped right off at the joint there, if you can see that. And this is where we run into the biggest problem with this figure. And I will also warn you, it's an even worse problem on this figure. They have drop-down hips, and I'll showcase it more on this guy. And if you look inside it, you can't really see, but I'll try to zoom in. You can kind of see there's a line there that the joint splits in half to allow it to drop down. I don't know if it's the cold or what, but the joints, when you articulate it up, it's not rotating on the ball, it's rotating the plastic. And I didn't really realize that. I just thought the joint was being tough on Tobey, and I kept articulating it, and it was feeling very gummy, and that was scaring me. And then I was trying to glue it, maybe that'd help, but nothing was working. And then I was trying to do a little bit of customization, see if I could do anything, and it just snapped off. And I do have two Tom Hollands now because this one's leg is about to snap off. So be very careful. And I made a post on the Marvel Legends subreddit because I just needed help. And for some reason, the mods took it down because Reddit mods try not to be trash, challenge, impossible. And a lot of people gave me some really good tips. One, they said, this is probably like known stuff, but like sit like the figure in like some boiling water. Well, not like boiling, but like decently almost boiling, I'd say. Like maybe not crank it on high, but crank that thing like halfway. Get that water hot, sit them in for like 2 minutes, take them out, slowly start articulating the joints up and down. Someone in the comments of that post I made dropped those details, and it was really helpful. Then another person acknowledged to go even further and lubricate it a bit. Now he said something about like shock something. That's not what I used. I don't know if this is the wise decision or not, but I just grabbed a can of WD-40 and just started all up in Tobey's crotch there. And there's a little bit of excess that comes out here and there, but it works. Like, it articulates beautifully. It's not stressing the joint at all. And hopefully this is a permanent solution. So I will tell you right now, be warned. If you get this figure, and I'd say at least test it. And if you're not hearing like if you're not feeling like a click in the leg, and it's kind of feeling a bit gummy, do not mess with those legs. Boil that pot of water, dump that in a bowl or something, pop the figure in it for 2 minutes, start articulating it, and if you really want to make sure, lubricate it, because if it's acting like that, it's gonna break. And what's weird is that 3-pack one didn't have that problem, but it scares me because I did look, and it does appear that there might be a little stress, and this leg is kind of gummy. You see how kind of gummy it is. So I might do the same for him. And Tom Holland has the exact same issue. But none of the Garfield figures do, which is very interesting. None of them have that problem. It's really weird. Like, Tom does, this Tobey does, but both Garfield figures I've had, no problems whatsoever. They articulate perfectly fine. So I don't think you have to worry about it on a Garfield. And these are the only two figures with drop down hips that have had this problem. Because your New Year Vows mold doesn't have that problem at all. So it's interesting, and it really sucks, because ignoring those problems, both of those figures are phenomenal. This is a phenomenal figure. I mentioned it in the 3-pack review, but it's a great figure. It looks so good. So it really breaks my heart that it has such a huge QC issue, because it's like, and I had some people just say to me, like, don't articulate the legs, but then it's like, it's a Spider-Man. You want to be able to, like, put him in, like, some wild poses like this. Like, you want to be able to put him in, like, some crazy pose like this. So it's, like, kind of annoying when they just say, don't articulate it. Like, it's a Spider-Man figure. It's supposed to be, like, put in some wild poses. I don't know if Hasbro will do anything about it. My personal opinion, I think the drop-down hips should just be gotten rid of. They really serve no purpose, because Sandman's leg does not drop down, and it articulates equally as well as Tobey's. So I think it's just dumb. It's a dumb articulated joint. Maybe there's a reason why it has to exist, but in my personal opinion, I think they should just get rid of it. It's doing way more harm than good. And I heard some people say problems about, like, his arms snapping off, but I think that might just be like a one rare situation thing. So yeah. Sorry if that rambled on a little long. I just wanted to warn you guys that if you are going to buy this figure, be warned that it could very well break. And I want to warn you because he is not easy to find. I found them day one when they first hit stores, got them all. They broke, and I hit up like 3 other stores, like 3 different Targets, before I just went into a random GameStop at a mall and they had one Tobey and one Tom left. So yeah, be warned because these aren't the easiest to acquire. But that being said, after that long, lengthy warning, I love this figure. Oh, it's good. Like when I first got the 3-pack, I was not looking forward to a Tobey Maguire because, like I said, he's out of the 3 Spideys, he's my least favorite. Um, I think it's like everyone says it, his Peter Parker's great, but his Spider-Man isn't the best, and I do agree with that, and I don't know, it's just I think it might just be like who I grew up with. I didn't grow up with Tobey, I grew up with Andrew, so that's kind of my Spider-Man, even though I do think Tom is my favorite. But those are like my Spider-Man. This is Spider-Man I grew up with. I didn't grow up with Tobey, so I don't have as strong of a connection to him. But he's still cool, and I do really like the look of this figure and his suit. It's cool. I mean, I feel like I want to go back. I want to backtrack on. I feel like I was kind of trashing the Tobey movies. They're not bad. I like them. They're really fun. The villains are great. It's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I feel like if Tobey isn't like your favorite Spider-Man, then I think you might get it. I don't know. Anyway, I feel bad just feel like I'm trash talking Tobey. But anyway, let's actually talk about the figure. That head sculpt's phenomenal. This is literally Tobey Maguire. This is spot on Tobey Maguire. But what's interesting is it looks more like Spider-Man 1 to 3 Tobey than it does older Tobey from No Way Home. I mean, I kind of prefer this because then it kind of just matches just those 3 movies design instead of just No Way Home. But yeah, it looks great. Like, that is Tobey Maguire. He literally looks like he's about to put some dirt in your eye. Like, my god. Hair sculpted really nice. And then get into the rest of the figure. I'll try to zoom through it since it's just Spider-Man. Back symbol's really cool. That silver is just so crisp and clean. All the webbing's raised, thank god. It's interesting as to think about what they were going to do because, like, they sometimes just don't even bother painting the webbing on some Spidey figures and have it always indented. And I was like, you cannot do that with Tobey. Like, it has to be painted silver. You got that spider symbol looking great. I think it might just be the paint is just better on this one than the 3-pack one, but I feel like his spider logo also stands out a bit better on this figure. That silver just looks great. And yeah, there might be some silver bleeding off the sides, but like it's not too noticeable unless you have the camera zoomed in. Looks really great. Then get into the arms. Look at all that nice silver. It looks so good. Like, that is beautiful. And the line works a little better on this than the 3-pack one for me personally. Still don't regret getting the 3-pack. It was nice getting these figures earlier because I hate waiting. But yeah, also this figure does have a beautiful texture throughout. It's got a slight texture on the blue, but the texture is very noticeable on the red, if you can hear that. I love when a Spider-Man figure has some texture, as opposed to just being plain and smooth. They come down to his little bootsies, which look great. They're not really boots, still part of the costume, but they kind of come out because I think they're separate pieces. And the silver looks great. Like, this figure just looks great, dude. Like, the figure looks so good, it's like making me be like, do I actually really love Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? Because, like, oh, that looks so clean, dude. Like, proportion-wise and sculpt-wise, I think this is the best-looking one of the 3 figures. Like, this is just perfection. And even though the mask is the different No Way Home looking mask. I still think they nailed that mask perfectly. Don't know why they changed the mask. It's an odd detail to change. But I love this figure. It looks so good. Articulation wise, he has a dumbbell joint at the head. Looks up that far, down not too far. Rotates. And I always say this, but I hate Spidey having dumbbell joints because I feel like any Spider-Man character or any character that has to fly or look up should have a ball hinge, not a dumbbell. But he does look up pretty well. Rotates, bobs, arm moves out that far, rotates. Butterfly joint, which barely moves. Be honest, it's kind of useless. Arm rotation, double jointed elbow. Oh, a little fuzz there. Hinge in and out and rotation on all of the hands. And they do paint the silver in the bicep swivel. Butterfly joint. Oof. And he does have the ab crunch diaphragm thing, so it can arc really far back and really far forward. I think he does this the best next to the Renew Your Vows one. That's the only one that beats him in the articulation department. His articulation's phenomenal. It does bob side to side and rotate, and those dreaded leg joints can only move up that far and can't really kick back because Tobey kind of got cake. He got thighs too. Like, I don't think Tobey was the one wearing the fake butt. I'm gonna be honest. If anyone remembers that. Can do the splits, and also when you bring it in, you gotta push it up because it drops down when you do the splits. Thigh rotation, double jointed knee. Yeah, knee. I be forgetting. I'm gonna be honest. No boot cut, but it does go up. The foot goes up and down, and there's a rocker. So his articulation's great. It's what you want. He doesn't have a toe joint, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't care. I don't care about the toe joints. It kind of annoys me more than it actually is cool for posing. But if you're like one of those super crazy posers, the toe joint could be useful. But this guy does not have it. And yeah, for comparison, here he is next to, we're doing our average run, Moon Knight. Here's the TV show Moon Knight. And for a Black Series and Transformers Voyager class comparison, here he is next to Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime and the Phase 2 Plain White Clone Trooper. Decided to bust him out instead of Apo because he has a defect as well with the other hand, with the two left hands. So yeah, not the best month for me when it comes to QC, but you know, we move. And for a 7-inch scale comparison, here is Tobey next to a DC McFarlane and a Jazz Wears Halo. Here he is next to the Halo 3 Master Chief and Black Manta from the new Aquaman movie. I'm not even going to bother trying to remember the name. It's probably going to be mid as hell. But at least Black Manta looks good. And for a bunch of Spidey comparisons, here he is unmasked with Tom and Andrew. They look great together, even though they never really showed up with these three suits. Sucks that Tom didn't have like the classic red and blue with these guys. Hopefully they appear again. I'd love another movie, an entire full movie with these three, because their dynamic was great in No Way Home. Like different generations of Spider-Man coming together. Like, that was amazing. And getting them out the way, I'm going to just use the 3-pack one, because it's literally the same figure, and here they are, masked together. Looks great. And for some villains, there's only 2, but here he is next to the aforementioned Sandman. Just got this figure today, by the way. And stand looks great. And here he is next to the one, the only, Green Goblin. They look great together. I mean, these are Tobey's villains originally, and it is really cool to be able to get like these guys as figures, because even though they're not my favorite movies, although I still love them. Like, again, I don't know. I feel like, because I'm awful at wording things, I feel like I worded me talking about the movies in a way where I was kind of dissing them. I love them, just not as much as Garfield and Tom, but they're still fun. They're still a fun time. And Defoe is a great villain. And it's so cool to actually have these guys together, and Sandman's here. And when Doc Ock ever releases, we'll be able to have them all together. And yeah, also can't wait till we get like the rest of the villains, because really itching to get a Lizard and Electro, because I love them so much. But yeah, and you can recreate your favorite scenes when they're just beating the hell out of each other, and then Norman kills himself. You know, fun times. Or when Norman just blows up Aunt May's house, where he's like, "Can the Spider-Man come out to play?" And then they all have the Spidey sense. That's an awesome scene. But yeah, the videos run a little late, kind of like Garfield. I'm trying to cut them down, but I like talking. Do I recommend this figure? Ignoring the huge QC issue with the legs, I think it's like a 10 out of 10 figure. But that QC issue does bring it down far, so I would give it a 6 or 7 out of 10. I don't do the number rating every time, so I don't know why I keep doing it. Or maybe I should just keep doing it and make sure I try doing every video. But yeah, like, sculpt, paint, articulation-wise, it's a phenomenal figure. So of course it had to have some Achilles heel, something to knock it from its pedestal, and that of course is the crotch problem. And but if you do what I said in the video, and I try to lay it out as detailed as possible, because as a professional YouTube action figure reviewer here, I try to only upload the highest of content. That's sarcasm. These videos are trash, but you're watching a video talking about a review, watching a review talking about a figure. I don't know why I said it wrong. If there's a problem and a solution, I feel like I should be the one to convey it to you perfectly, so you don't have to be like making a post on Reddit at 2 a.m. just for it to get removed, like me. But yeah, so be warned. Phenomenal figure, really awful QC. But yeah, he's not even the worst one, because it gets worse. But that will be in a future review, which hopefully won't be a week from now. I've been getting lost in the new Fortnite season. They got Lego stuff now. The weekend's dropping in 2 days. Like, come on, it's amazing. But yeah, that's about it. Like, subscribe, check out my previous reviews. Lot of Spider-Man, a lot of Marvel Legends, Spider-Man to come. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully I didn't just rip apart Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man for like 28 minutes. Again, I like his movies, I like him. He's just not my favorite Spidey, and that's okay. We all come from different generations of Spider-Man, and I feel like we should respect them all. They all have their strengths, their weaknesses, their highs, their lows. And all I'm saying is, give Andrew a third movie, give Tobey a fourth. Why not? It's printing money right there. But no, they want Kraven the Hunter. Yeah, I diss Madam Web, but I actually kind of want to see that movie. Like, I know it's probably going to be bad, but it looks like kind of like fun bad. Like, it looks like I'll enjoy it, like the Venom movies. Like, I know they're not peak cinema, but they're just a really fun time. Anyway, check them on Instagram, MoonEdXO. Can talk to me there, get updates on figures that may or may not get reviewed. And if I ever disappear for a long time, check there. I'll probably be uploading something on my story. if I haven't uploaded on my story, I'm either in a deep depression or I've died. Anyway, also check out my new Instagram. I think it's called Same Pic of 2099, where I just upload the same pic of Spider-Man 2099 every day until I forget. I almost forget every single day, but I'll try to see how far I can go. So yeah, that's about it. This figure's awesome, but bad QC, best way I can describe it. And yeah, I'm trying to think of a Tobey Maguire line. There's so many iconic ones, like, it's a cute outfit. Did your husband make it for you? Like, wild as hell line. And of course I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye, and him backhanding his wife. Not wife, girlfriend. Also, yeah, here he is next to the black suit Spidey. Almost forgot. Thought I'd bust that out for fun. So yeah, peace. And be careful, because your Spider-Man might lose its leg.